Listen to me. You were not born to be average. You were not put on this earth to blend in, to dim your light, or to settle for less. You were born to dominate. But every time you shrink, every time you hold back your gift because you're scared of what people will think, you're robbing the world of your greatness. Let me ask you something. Who told you to play small? Who told you that you weren't enough? Who told you that your dream was too big, your voice too loud, your ambition too much? Let me tell you what it really is. It's fear. Fear of failure. Fear of rejection. Fear of being alone. But I came here today to tell you, you gotta stop playing small. You gotta show up like you belong in the room. You gotta speak like the world needs your voice. Because it does. Stop asking for permission. Start taking up space. You're not here to take orders. You're here to lead. You're not here to survive. You're here to thrive. You want people to respect you. Respect yourself first. You want to change your life? Stop shrinking. Stop settling. Start shining. Because when you stop playing small, you give others permission to rise too. You become a lighthouse. And lighthouses don't apologize for their light. You can't live a life of greatness if you're afraid to be seen. That's the truth, and I need you to feel me right now. Too many people are walking through life trying to be invisible, trying to blend in, trying to not stir the waters. But let me tell you something. Greatness is not quiet. Greatness doesn't whisper. Greatness shows up loud. It walks in the room and changes the energy. It doesn't apologize for existing, but you've been shrinking. You've been dimming your light because you're afraid somebody might think you're too much. You've been hiding your gift because you're scared of judgment, of failure, of people talking behind your back. As long as you stay in that mindset, you'll never touch the level of greatness you were built for. You want to know what's stopping you. It's not your circumstances. It's not your past. It's not the lack of money or connections or opportunities. What's stopping you is that little voice in your head telling you to stay small. That voice that says, who do you think you are? That voice that reminds you of every failure, every mistake, every weakness. And instead of fighting it, instead of silencing it, you've let that voice become your truth. But I'm here to tell you that voice is a liar. And you've been living in that lie for way too long. See, here's the thing. The world is full of average. You don't have to do anything special to be average. You just have to wake up and do the bare minimum. But if you want to be great, if you want to be remembered, if you want your name to mean something, then you have to make a decision to stop hiding. You have to decide that you're done with small thinking, small moves, and small dreams. You've got to take the lid off your life. Some of you have gifts that can change the world, but they'll never see the light of day because you're scared. Scared to be seen, scared to fail, scared to succeed. You think if you keep playing it safe, you won't get hurt. But the truth is, playing small is the most painful thing you can do. You're not avoiding pain. You're creating a different kind of pain. The pain of regret, the pain of wondering a what if, the pain of knowing you could have gone further, but you didn't. And let me tell you something, and pain doesn't go away. It follows you. It haunts you. It sits with you every day of your life. There's somebody watching you right now, somebody depending on your courage to step out. You don't even know it, but there's a younger version of you, a brother, a sister, a friend, a stranger, and they need to see you rise so they know it's possible. And every time you play small, every time you step back instead of forward, you're not just holding yourself back. You're holding back too. It takes boldness to be great. It takes guts to be different. It takes courage to raise your voice, to walk in a room like you belong, to share your ideas without fear of being laughed at. But that's the price of greatness. You've got to be willing to be uncomfortable. You've got to be willing to be misunderstood. You've got to be willing to fail in front of people and get back up like nothing happened. That's what separates the greats from the rest. They're not braver than you. They're just committed. Committed to showing up. Committed to doing the work. Committed to walking in their calling, even when it's scary. You think success is for other people. You look at the ones on the stage, the ones at the top, and you think they've got something you don't. But I'm here to tell you, you got it too. Or you've just buried it. You've let fear bury it. You've let other people's opinions bury it. You've let failure bury it, but it's still in you. That fire's still in you. That greatness is still in you. It's just waiting for you to stop playing small and let it out. And don't you dare tell me it's too late. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how far you've fallen. I don't care how many mistakes you've made. As long as you got breath in your body, you got purpose. As long as you got purpose, it's your responsibility to step into it. It's not optional. It's not a luxury. It's your calling. You were put here for something big, so stop acting like you don't matter. Stop pretending you don't have something to give. Stop shrinking to make other people comfortable. You're not here to be like, you're here to be light. You're here to be great. So from this moment on, I need you to start moving different. Walk like you know you're chosen. Speak like your words carry weight. Show up like your presence matters, because it does. You've been hiding for too long. It's time. It's your time. Stop playing small and go be everything you were born to be. Fear is a thief. It's not just something that makes you feel nervous or hesitant. It actively steals from you. It robs you of your potential. It robs you of opportunity. It robs you of the life you were meant to live. Some of you don't even realize how much fear has cost you because you've gotten comfortable with playing defense. You've learned how to survive instead of thrive. You built your whole life around managing fear instead of mastering it. And every time fear knocks on the door, you let it in like it owns the place. You want to start that business? Fear tells you you'll fail, and you listen. You want to apply for that promotion. It reminds you you're not qualified enough, and you back down. You want to speak in front of people. Share your story. Let the world see who you really are. Fear whispers that nobody cares, and you believe it. But let me ask you this. How many blessings have you missed because fear talked you out of them? How many times have you stood at the edge of breakthrough but turned around because fear said, it's not safe? You thought you were protecting yourself, but really you were sabotaging yourself. Fear doesn't just show up once. It's consistent. It comes back over and over, dressed up in different clothes. Procrastination, self-doubt, perfectionism, people-pleasing. Sometimes fear doesn't scream. Sometimes it comes softly. Or maybe now's not the right time. Or let me wait until I'm more ready. Or let me get just a little better before I try. And before you know it, you've wasted years listening to fear and calling it wisdom. Let me be clear. Fear is not your friend. It doesn't care about your future. It's not trying to protect you. It's trying to control you. It's trying to keep you exactly where you are, stuck, average, hidden. And the longer you let fear run the show, the more it becomes your identity. You start telling people, oh, I'm just shy, or I've always been nervous, or that's just not me. But the truth is, that's not who you are. That's just who you become after years of letting fear lead. You can't be great and be loyal to fear at the same time. You've got to choose, because fear doesn't coexist with faith. It doesn't coexist with freedom. Fear suffocates purpose. It drains energy. It makes you settle for crumbs when you were supposed to feast at the table. And if you don't confront it, fear will become your ceiling. No matter how hard you work, how smart you are, how big your dreams are. If fear is still in charge, you'll never go higher than the limits it sets. Some of you think you're stuck because you don't have the resources or the right people or the right timing. But you're not stuck because of your situation. You're stuck because of your mindset. Fear has you walking in circles. Fear has you talking yourself out of your own blessings. Fear has you dressing up your excuses as logic. What if it doesn't work? That's fear. Oh, what if I embarrass myself? That's fear. What if I lose everything? That's fear. But let me flip that for you. What if it does work? What if you win? What if this is the very thing that changes your entire life? You'll never know unless you push past the fear. You don't defeat fear by avoiding it. You defeat fear by confronting it. You walk right into it, scared and all, and say, oh, let's go. Because courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to move anyway. People who win at a high level, they're not fearless. They're just unwilling to let fear decide their future. You've got to develop that kind of fire. That kind of internal strength that says, I might be scared, but I'm not stopping. I might shake, but I'm still stepping. I might fall, but I'm getting back up. Fear only has power when you obey it. When you stop obeying it, it loses its grip. And every time you do something scared, you take your power back. Every time you do something uncomfortable, you grow. Every time you stop shrinking and start stretching, you get closer to the version of you that fear tried to bury. There's another level of life waiting on the other side of your fear, but you'll never see it if you don't go through it. The breakthrough isn't coming around the fear, it's coming through it. You can't keep playing it safe. Safety might keep you from getting hurt, but it also keeps you from being great. And greatness requires risk. Greatness requires exposure. Greatness requires vulnerability. That's what fear doesn't want you to know. That the very thing you're afraid of is the very thing that will make you stronger. So the next time fear speaks, don't just sit there. Talk back. Remind fear who you are. Remind fear of the purpose on your life. Remind fear of every time you've gotten up before. Every time you've made it through. Every time you've grown stronger in the dark. Because fear is a liar, and you believed it for long enough. Stop apologizing for being ambitious. Stop shrinking your goals to make other people comfortable. Stop hiding your drive because you don't want to make anyone else feel small. You were not created to live a quiet, average life. You were built for something more. But you've been taught, either directly or indirectly, that wanting more is selfish. That reaching higher is arrogant. That dreaming big somehow makes you greedy or ungrateful. And that's a lie. That's a lie. Designed to keep people in line, to keep you playing small, to keep you average. Ambition is not the enemy. Ambition is the engine. It's the hunger that gets you out of bed when you don't feel like it. It's the vision that lets you see beyond your current circumstances. It's the fire that refuses to accept just enough. And yet you keep apologizing for it. You keep watering it down. You keep trying to explain yourself to people who have no intention of growing. But here's the truth. The people who are comfortable with your ambition are usually the ones who gave up on theirs. They see you try, and it reminds them of the version of themselves they buried. So instead of supporting you, they mock you. They doubt you. They tell you to slow down. But that's not your problem. That's not your responsibility. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your hunger. You don't need permission to chase after something extraordinary. You don't have to justify why you want the house, the business, the influence, the legacy. Because ambition isn't about stuff, it's about purpose. It's about knowing that you were built for something and refusing to settle for less than that. It's about using every gift, every ounce of energy, every breath you got to fulfill what you were called to do. And if that makes people uncomfortable, let them be uncomfortable. Too many of you are out here playing it safe because you're worried about how your ambition will look. You're worried people will say you've changed. You're worried they'll think you're getting too full of yourself. So you dim your light. You act like you're not really trying. You pretend like success had just happened. No, stop that. Own your drive. Own your effort. Own your focus. You work for it. You're working for it. And you don't have to hide that from anyone. The truth is, ambition without action is nothing. You can talk about it all day, but eventually you got to walk it out. And when you start moving differently, waking up earlier, locking in, saying no to distractions, people are going to notice. Some will celebrate you. Some will distance themselves. That's part of the process. Growth is lonely sometimes, but would you rather be liked and stagnant or respected and progressing? Because you can't have both. You've got to choose. And while you're busy worrying about other people's opinions, your destiny is on hold. While you're downplaying your goals so you don't intimidate anyone, you're delaying what you were built for. That's not humility. That's fear in disguise. Real humility is knowing you were given a gift and being bold enough to use it. Real humility is working like crazy because you understand the weight of the calling on your life. So stop calling your ambition a problem. Start calling it what it is: a weapon, a force, a compass. It's not something to be ashamed of. It's something to be honored. Let me tell you something. People with no ambition will always criticize people with big dreams. That's just the way it is. But you don't owe them comfort. You don't owe them silence. You don't owe them an apology for being driven. You don't need to apologize for outgrowing old habits, old places, or old people, because every step you take forward is a step into who you're supposed to become. Ambition doesn't make you selfish. It doesn't make you arrogant. It makes you accountable. It means you refuse to let your life be a waste. It means you wake up every day with a reason, with a plan, with a standard. That's what ambition really is. Standard, a line you don't cross beneath, a level you refuse to fall under. Then some of you need to raise your standard. You've been letting too much slide. You've been tolerating mediocrity in your life, in your relationships, in your mindset. But that ends when you stop apologizing and start moving with intention. People might not understand you right now, and that's okay. You weren't built to be understood by everyone. You were built to lead. You were built to inspire. You were built to disrupt. And that's not going to happen if you keep watering yourself down to make others feel comfortable. You weren't put here to play nice. You were put here to make impact. And impact takes courage. Impact takes focus. Impact takes bold, unapologetic ambition. So keep pushing. Keep showing up. Keep raising the bar. And if they call you a true ambitious, smile and take that as a compliment. It means they noticed. It means they see the fire in you. You want to lead, then you better start leading by example. Don't talk about it, be about it. Don't tell people what they should do if you're not willing to do it yourself. You want to inspire your family? Be the one who gets up early. Be the one who gets up early. Be the one who stays disciplined. Be the one who pushes through when it's hard. People don't follow words. They follow action. They follow consistency. They follow the example. You can't expect others to rise if you're not rising first. You can't demand greatness from the people around you if you're still living beneath your potential. It starts with you. Leadership isn't a title. It's not a position. It's not something you wait for someone to hand you. Leadership is how you live. It's how you move. It's how you carry yourself when nobody's watching. You don't need a platform to lead. Your life is the platform. Your habits, your energy, your mindset, they speak louder than anything you could ever say. And the truth is, someone is always watching. Someone is always learning from your example, even if they never say a word. There's a younger version of you somewhere who needs to see that it's possible, that it can be done, that you can come from the bottom, go through the storm, and still stand still, stand tall. You don't owe them perfection, but you owe them effort. Every decision you make is setting a tone. The way you respond to pressure, the way you treat people, the way you chase your goals or don't, people are learning from that. Whether it's your kids, your team, your peers, or even strangers online, you're showing them what's possible through your actions. So when you slack, you're teaching that settling is okay. When you give up, you're teaching that quitting is an option. But when you lock in, when you keep going, when you keep growing, even in silence, that's leadership. That's influence. That's power. Stop waiting for someone else to be the example. You be it. Stop waiting for someone to give you permission to go all in. You give yourself permission. You take that first step, because the moment you decide to lead with your life, everything around you starts to shift. People begin to take notice. Not because you're perfect, but because you're consistent, because you show up when others won't, because you do the work even when no one's clapping for you. And don't underestimate what that consistency does for others. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is just keep showing up. Day after day when you don't feel like it, when it's hard, when no one understands. That's leadership. That's legacy. That's what people remember. They may not remember your words, but they'll remember your example. They'll remember how you handled adversity, how you carried yourself when everything was against you, how you didn't fold, how you stayed focused. Leadership by example also means being real. It means owning your mistakes. It means letting people see that you're not perfect, but you're committed to growth. It means being vulnerable enough to say, I messed up, but I'm still going. Because that gives people permission to keep going too. If all they ever see is the highlight reel, they'll think they can't measure up. But if they see the struggle, the process, the perseverance, that's what connects. That's what builds trust. That's what builds leader. People don't want to be told what to do by someone who isn't doing it. They want to see it in action. They want to see what discipline looks like, what focus looks like, what commitment looks like. You become the blueprint. You become the model, and you don't need to shout about it. Let your life speak. Let your results speak. Let your results speak. Let your growth speak. Because quiet leadership, consistent, grounded, powerful leadership, that's what creates lasting impact. And it's not just about the big moves. Sometimes it's the little things that speak the loudest. Waking up when you said you would. Finishing what you start. Staying humble when you win. Staying hungry when you've already achieved something. That kind of example changes lives because it shows people that greatness isn't about talent. It's about choices, about habits, about attitude. And if you can do it, they start to believe they can too. But you got to be honest with yourself. Are you really living the way you say others should live? Are you really putting in the work you expect from your team, your family, your circle? Or are you just talking a good game? Because the people closest to you, they see it all. They see when you cut corners. They see when you slack off. And whether you realize it or not, that sets the culture. That sets the expectation. So if you want to raise the standard, it starts with you. Leadership is not about being the loudest voice. It's about being the clearest example. It's about making decisions today that others will thank you for tomorrow. You don't need to convince people with speeches. Convince them with consistency. You weren't created to just exist. You weren't put here to just go through the motions, clock in and clock out and call that life. There's something in you that the world needs. A gift, a message, a light. And the longer you keep playing small, the longer the world goes without it. Too many people are waiting for the right time to show up as their full self, waiting until they feel more confident, more prepared, more polished. But the truth is, if you wait until you feel ready, you'll never do it. Because fear doesn't go away. You have to move through it. You have to show up anyway. Most people think they need permission to be great. They think they need someone to validate them, co-sign them, recognize them before they step into their power. But what if I told you that nobody's coming to crown you? What if I told you the only person who needs to believe in your purpose is you? Because if you don't believe in it, if you don't show up for it, if you don't fight for it, nobody else will. You keep waiting to be discovered, but this isn't Hollywood. This is real life. And in real life, you don't wait to be chosen. You decide. Decide to show up fully. Decide to walk in your truth. Decide that you're not going to shrink anymore. Just because your light makes other people uncomfortable. Because the people who are really meant to be in your life, they'll be inspired by your light, not threatened by it. They'll be challenged to grow by your boldness, not offended by it. And if your presence makes some people walk away, let them go. You're not here to make everyone like you. You're here to make an impact. An impact requires authenticity. It requires courage. It requires you to stop hiding behind fear and excuses and step into who you really are. You've got something inside you that's been waiting to come out. A story that needs to be told. A solution someone else is praying for. A movement that only you can start. But you've been playing small, talking yourself out of it, second-guessing yourself, comparing yourself to others. And every time you do that, you bury your potential a little deeper. But purpose doesn't die just because you ignore it. It waits. It waits for you to get serious. It waits for you to stop running. And when you finally get tired of shrinking, when you finally get tired of faking it, when you finally get tired of pretending you're okay with less than what you were made for, that's when you were made for. That's when you'll start to rise. Showing up fully doesn't mean you have all the answers. It doesn't mean you won't stumble or fall. It means you bring all of who you are. The flaws, the strengths, the passion, the fear, and you keep moving forward. It means you stop trying to be perfect and stop being real some way. Because people don't need your perfection. They need your presence. They need your truth. They need to see someone who is bold enough to show up as they are, not as who they think they're supposed to be. The most dangerous thing you can do is play small in a world that needs your greatness. Because every time you hide, someone else stays stuck. Every time you doubt yourself, someone else loses hope. You think it's just about you, but it's not. It's bigger than you. Your purpose isn't just for your benefit. It's for the people connected to you. The ones who are watching you, the ones who need your MBA, the ones who are waiting for someone like you to show them it's possible. And they can't see that if you're still playing small. You want to build something meaningful. You want to change your life, your family, your community. Then you got to start showing up like you were made for it. Stop treating your purpose like a side project. Stop putting your dreams on the back burner. Stop acting like your voice doesn't matter. It matters. It all matters. Your story, your experience, your pain, your growth. It's all a part of your assignment. And if you won't own it, nobody else can. It's time to step out of the background. It's time to stop being a spectator in your own life. You've got something powerful inside of you. But it won't mean anything if you never use it. You keep thinking, what if I'm not enough? But what if you are? What if the very thing you're scared to share is the key to someone else's breakthrough? What if the dream that won't leave you alone is your assignment? What if all this time you weren't waiting on God or the universe or anybody else? What if they've been waiting on you? So no more excuses, no more waiting, no more playing small. Show up like your life depends on it, because it does. Show up like your future depends on it, because it does. And show up like other people's breakthrough depends on it, because it absolutely does. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present. You just need to be bold. You just need to be real. The world doesn't need a watered down version of you. It needs you fully and completely. So step up. Show up.